You're standing on the edge of a decision, and it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders. But what if I told you that you don't have to carry this burden alone? Today, Saint Michael the Archangel is ready to guide you through the uncertainty, showing you the path that brings peace, clarity, and purpose. There comes a time in life when we face decisions so important, they seem to stop everything else around us. You might feel that every move you make could change the course of your life, and the pressure of choosing the right path becomes overwhelming. Doubts swirl, and with each passing moment, the uncertainty grows. It's in these times of confusion that we need to reach out for divine guidance. Saint Michael, the protector and guide, is waiting to help lift the weight of these choices and lead you in the right direction. Perhaps you've been here before, staring at a decision so complex that every option feels equally daunting. You ask yourself if you're making the right move, if you're listening to the right voices, and what the consequences of a wrong step might be. It's in these moments of doubt that we most need help beyond our own understanding. This is when Saint Michael steps in, offering clarity where confusion reigns and strength where we feel weak, as promised in Isaiah, chapter 40, verses 29 to 31. Close your eyes and envision yourself standing in front of a maze of possibilities. Each path seems like it could lead somewhere different, but none of them show you the end result. This uncertainty is what makes decisions so hard, wanting to know what lies at the end of each road before taking the first step. But faith is about trusting that the way will be revealed as you walk it. Like the light Saint Michael shines to guide you, you will find the clarity you need, even if it doesn't appear all at once. As we embark on this prayer for guidance, take a moment to reflect on the decision you're struggling with right now. Whatever it may be, whether it involves your family, your career, or something deeply personal, know that you are not making this choice alone. Saint Michael is by your side, helping to clear the fog of doubt and fear. Open your heart to the peace that comes from his protection, and trust that the right path will unfold before you. The answers may not come immediately, but the presence of Saint Michael will bring comfort as you navigate the journey ahead. When faced with life-altering decisions, it's easy to believe that we must rely solely on our own wisdom. We often fall into the trap of thinking we can figure it all out if we just think hard enough. But the truth is, our human perspective is limited. There are aspects of each choice we cannot foresee or understand fully. That's why the first step in finding guidance is humbly acknowledging that we need help that comes from beyond ourselves. Saint Michael stands as a messenger of divine wisdom, ready to bring light to your uncertainty. In 1 Kings chapter 3, verse 9, King Solomon did something remarkable. Instead of asking God for wealth, power, or long life, he asked for wisdom to govern his people well. Solomon knew that his human understanding wasn't enough to lead effectively, so he sought divine guidance. This story shows us that even the wisest among us need help when it comes to making decisions that affect not only our lives, but the lives of those around us. Solomon's request for wisdom was granted, and God gave him a heart capable of discerning between right and wrong. As you stand at your own crossroads, you too can ask for divine wisdom. What choices are weighing on your heart right now? What decisions feel too big to handle on your own? Take a moment to acknowledge that while you have strength and intellect, there are things you can't see. And that's okay. The beauty of asking for guidance is that it invites a higher power to step in, making the path clearer. Saint Michael, like a beacon in the dark, can help illuminate the way forward, allowing you to see where you should place your next step. In moments of uncertainty, it's easy to feel like you're walking in circles, not knowing which direction to take. But as you invite Saint Michael into your decision-making process, you'll begin to see that you don't have to make this journey alone. His presence brings a sense of peace, even before the answers come. You don't need to know every detail of the outcome. You just need to trust that the right choice will reveal itself in time. Just as Solomon found clarity after seeking God's wisdom, so too will you find the direction you need. Sometimes, recognizing the need for divine direction requires letting go of pride. We are so conditioned to believe that asking for help is a sign of weakness, but in truth, it is a sign of wisdom. When you call upon Saint Michael, you are acknowledging that you desire to be led by God's hand. This humble act of seeking guidance opens doors to answers you may not have considered. It shifts your perspective from fear and doubt to hope and clarity. As you continue this journey of seeking guidance, remember that wisdom is not about knowing all the answers, but about being open to receiving them. Saint Michael is your heavenly guide, ready to point you toward the path that aligns with God's perfect plan for your life. Trust that in recognizing your need for help, you are already one step closer to making the right choice. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, I humbly ask you to open my heart and mind to the divine wisdom I seek. Help me recognize the limits of my understanding and lead me toward God's guidance. Shine your light upon my choices, that I may walk the path intended for me. May I, like Solomon, receive a discerning heart that aligns with God's will. Fear and doubt are two of the most crippling emotions when it comes to decision-making. They cloud our minds, making it difficult to think clearly or trust the process. When fear takes over, it tells us that we might fail, that the consequences of our decisions could be disastrous. Doubt, on the other hand, whispers that no matter what we choose, we'll regret it. These emotions can leave us paralyzed, unable to move forward. But what if you could silence those voices of fear and doubt, even for a moment? In Matthew chapter 14, verses 26 to 27, the disciples experienced their own moment of fear and doubt when they saw Jesus walking on the water. They were terrified, thinking he was a ghost, but Jesus immediately spoke to them, saying, "Take courage. It is I, don't be afraid." In that moment, their fear was replaced with peace, and they were able to continue their journey. Just as Jesus calmed their fears, Saint Michael can help calm the storm of fear and doubt swirling within you. His presence is a reminder that you are not facing these decisions alone. Fear often arises when we feel we have too much to lose, or when we're unsure of the outcome. But remember, fear is not from God. As it says in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7, "For the Spirit God gave us does not make us timid, but gives us power, love, and self-discipline." Fear distorts the way we see our choices, and doubt makes us question every step we take. But when you call on Saint Michael, you are inviting his strength to stand beside you, dispelling the fear that holds you back. What is the fear that's keeping you from moving forward? Are you afraid of making the wrong choice? Of facing disappointment or failure? These are natural fears, but they don't have to control you. Take a moment to breathe deeply and hand over those fears to Saint Michael. Let him carry them for you, just as he carries the sword of God's truth into every battle. With him at your side, you can trust that even if the road ahead seems uncertain, you will be protected and guided. Doubt is often the result of overthinking, of trying to see too far ahead. But you don't need to know the entire journey to take the next step. Trust that Saint Michael is lighting the way just enough for you to move forward with confidence. Doubt thrives in the unknown, but faith grows in trust. When you lean on Saint Michael, you are choosing faith over doubt, trusting that God's wisdom is greater than any uncertainty you may feel. As you move forward in this prayer, allow yourself to release the grip that fear and doubt have on you. Saint Michael, the great protector, is here to help you see beyond the fear, to rise above the doubt. You don't need to have every answer, but you can rest in the knowledge that you are being led by divine wisdom. With Saint Michael by your side, fear and doubt will no longer have the power to hold you back from the decision that will bring you peace. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, cast away the fear and doubt that cloud my heart and mind. Replace them with courage and clarity, so I may trust in God's plan for my life. Help me to walk forward in faith, knowing that with you by my side, I can overcome any uncertainty. It's easy to focus on the big, life-changing decisions and overlook the small ones. However, it's often the small choices we make every day that shape the larger direction of our lives. These choices, whether in our words, actions, or thoughts, accumulate over time, guiding us toward our future. The key is to approach every decision, no matter how insignificant it seems, with a heart open to divine guidance. Each step, no matter how small, can either bring us closer to God's purpose or pull us away from it. Saint Michael is here to guide us in even the smallest of moments. In Proverbs chapter 3, verses 5 to 6, we are reminded to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. This powerful verse tells us that it's not just the monumental decisions where we should seek God's guidance, but in all our ways. Even the seemingly trivial choices we make can be submitted to God, trusting that His wisdom will guide us in the right direction. Just as a ship's course is determined by many small adjustments, so too are our lives shaped by the daily choices we make. Think about the small decisions you've made today. Did you speak with kindness? Did you act with integrity? These may not seem like major life choices, but they are part of the foundation upon which your bigger decisions rest. It is in the practice of seeking divine wisdom in these small moments that we strengthen our ability to hear God's voice when bigger decisions arise. When Saint Michael walks with us in these everyday moments, he helps sharpen our discernment and align our hearts with God's will. Each day offers countless opportunities to make small choices that reflect our faith and trust in God. Whether it's how we treat others, the attitude we bring to our work, or the way we manage our time, every action counts. When we invite Saint Michael to guide us in these moments, we are actively building a life that reflects God's plan. The more we practice seeking wisdom in small things, the more naturally we will turn to God in larger decisions. It's easy to overlook the importance of these everyday moments, but they are critical to our spiritual growth. Just as Saint Michael helps protect us in battle, he also helps guide us in our quiet daily battles, the ones that happen in our hearts and minds when we are tempted to take the easy way or ignore what's right. With his guidance, we can stay on the path of righteousness, even in the smallest details of our lives. Remember, no decision is too small for God's attention. Every moment is an opportunity to seek His wisdom and guidance. As you navigate your day, trust that Saint Michael is there, helping you make choices that align with God's will. Each step, no matter how small, can bring you closer to living a life filled with purpose and peace. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, guide me in the small choices I make today. Help me to see that even the smallest decisions can reflect God's will for my life. Give me the wisdom to act with integrity, kindness, and love in every moment, knowing that with your guidance, I am always walking the path God has set before me. One of the most challenging aspects of decision-making is the desire to follow God's will above all else. While it's natural to want to make choices based on our personal desires, true peace comes from knowing that we are aligning our lives with God's plan. Seeking God's will requires us to set aside our own agendas, surrendering our desires to what is best in God's eyes. It's not always easy, but when we ask for Saint Michael's guidance, he helps us navigate this journey of discernment with clarity and conviction. In Matthew chapter 6, verse 10, Jesus teaches us to pray, "Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven." These words remind us that God's will is central to the way we live our lives. We often wrestle with what we want versus what God may have planned for us. But when we align our hearts with God's will, we find that even the hardest decisions can bring peace, because we know we are walking the path He has chosen for us. Saint Michael, as the defender of God's kingdom, helps us stay focused on this higher purpose. It's important to remember that God's will isn't always revealed to us in clear, bold signs. Sometimes, it's through quiet whispers or gentle nudges that guide us toward the right decision. Have you ever felt a subtle pull in one direction, or a sense of peace about a choice that initially seemed difficult? These are often signs that God is steering you toward His will. Saint Michael can help sharpen our spiritual senses so that we become more attuned to these moments of divine guidance. As you reflect on the decisions before you, consider how they align with God's plan for your life. Are you choosing out of fear or pressure, or are you genuinely seeking what God wants for you? It's easy to let external circumstances influence our decisions, but when we invite Saint Michael into the process, we are reminded to look beyond the immediate and trust in the eternal. His presence helps us discern between what feels right in the moment and what is truly right in God's eyes. Surrendering to God's will requires faith and trust, especially when the path ahead is unclear. We may not always understand why certain doors close, or why we are led in directions we didn't expect. But Saint Michael helps us remain faithful, reminding us that God's will is always for our good, even when it is difficult to see in the moment. By seeking His will, we are allowing our lives to be shaped by something far greater than we could ever imagine. In your prayer, Ask for the strength to set aside your own desires and embrace God's plan for your life. Let Saint Michael be your guide, helping you to listen deeply and trust fully in what God has in store. When you seek His will above all else, you will find that your decisions bring peace, purpose, and fulfillment, knowing that you are walking in alignment with the Creator's plan. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, help me to seek God's will above my own. Guide me in surrendering my desires, so that I may embrace the path God has chosen for me. Strengthen my heart to trust that His plan is greater than anything I could envision, and help me to walk in faith, knowing that with you by my side, I am always in His care. One of the most difficult aspects of seeking guidance is the patience required to wait for God's timing. When faced with a tough decision, it's natural to want answers immediately. We often feel anxious, wondering if we are making the right choice, and we can become frustrated when the clarity we seek doesn't come right away. However, trusting in God's timing is a key part of the process. His plans unfold according to a timeline that often differs from our own. Saint Michael can help us find the strength to be patient and wait for the right moment. In Psalm 27, verse 14, we are reminded to wait for the Lord. Be strong and take heart and wait for the Lord. This verse echoes the importance of patience and trust. It's a call to stay strong in faith, even when the path ahead seems uncertain or delayed. Many times, we want to rush decisions because we fear missing out or making mistakes. But just as a flower blooms at its appointed time, so too does God's plan for our lives. Saint Michael stands with us in those moments of waiting, helping us remain steadfast in faith and not rush ahead of God's perfect timing. Have you ever found yourself pushing for an answer, only to realize later that waiting would have brought a clearer solution? Sometimes, in our haste, we may take actions that lead us down more challenging roads. It's in these moments that we must remember the value of waiting for God's perfect plan to unfold. Saint Michael helps protect us from the impatience that drives us to make decisions prematurely. Instead, he offers us the courage to stay still, to trust that what is meant for us will come at the right time. Waiting is not a passive act. It is an active expression of faith. As we wait, we grow stronger in trust and patience. Each moment of waiting is an opportunity to draw closer to God, to listen more deeply to His voice, and to allow His guidance to shape our decisions. While we may not see the full picture right now, Saint Michael reminds us that God's timing is always perfect. His plan is greater than we can comprehend, and what we are waiting for will come when it aligns with His will for our lives. As you wait for clarity in your decision, resist the temptation to rush forward without guidance. Patience is not always easy, but it is essential to making choices that are aligned with God's purpose. Saint Michael is here to stand with you in this time of waiting, offering strength and reassurance that the right moment will come. Trust that when God's timing is revealed, the path before you will be illuminated with peace and certainty. When you feel anxious or impatient, bring those feelings into prayer. Ask for Saint Michael's help in staying patient and trusting in God's perfect plan. Know that each moment of waiting is part of the journey, and that you are not alone in this process. Saint Michael walks with you, guarding your heart and mind as you wait for the divine timing to reveal itself. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, grant me the patience to trust in God's timing. Help me to wait with faith, knowing that His plan will unfold when the time is right. Give me the strength to resist impatience and the courage to trust that everything will come together according to God's perfect will. As we seek guidance in making decisions, we are often faced with outside influences that can cloud our judgment. Sometimes, these influences come from well-meaning people offering advice, while other times, they come from sources that lead us away from God's will. It's important to guard our hearts and minds against any voices that pull us in directions that do not align with our faith. Saint Michael, as the great protector, is here to shield us from these distractions and keep us focused on what truly matters. In Matthew chapter 4, verses 1 to 11, we read about Jesus being tempted in the wilderness by the devil. During this time, Satan tried to sway Jesus from his mission by offering him power, wealth, and worldly pleasures. But Jesus, grounded in his faith and mission, rejected these temptations. Just as Jesus resisted the negative influences that sought to derail his purpose, Saint Michael helps us to recognize and reject the forces that would lead us astray from God's plan. He stands with us, protecting us from the subtle and not-so-subtle ways in which we can be misled. Negative influences don't always appear as harmful at first. They can come in the form of pressure from others, societal expectations, or even our own desires that seem harmless, but ultimately lead us away from God's will. These influences can create confusion, making it harder to discern what is right. When we feel the weight of these pressures, it's important to call on Saint Michael to help us stay grounded in faith and truth. His sword of righteousness can cut through the noise, bringing clarity and helping us stay true to our values. As you reflect on the influences around you, consider how they are impacting your decision-making process. Are you feeling pressure from external sources that conflict with your faith? Are you struggling with voices of doubt or temptation that seem to steer you in the wrong direction? These are the moments when Saint Michael's protection is most needed. He can help you discern which influences are helpful and which are harmful, keeping your heart and mind focused on God's will. Sometimes, the hardest influences to recognize are the ones that come from within. Our own fears, insecurities, or desires can push us in directions that don't align with God's plan. Saint Michael helps us to see clearly, protecting us from the traps we might unknowingly set for ourselves. His protection extends beyond external forces, shielding us from the negative influences that arise from our own hearts and minds. In your prayer, ask Saint Michael to protect you from any influence, internal or external, that pulls you away from God's will. Trust in his ability to guard your heart and mind, helping you stay focused on the path that God has set before you. With his help, you can confidently navigate through the noise of the world and stay true to the divine guidance you seek. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, protect me from the negative influences that seek to lead me away from God's will. Guard my heart and mind, helping me to discern truth from falsehood. Stand beside me as I navigate the pressures of the world, and keep me focused on the path that brings me closer to God. Every decision we make is a step on a journey that requires faith. As we move forward, there will be moments when the path is unclear, and doubt may begin to creep in. It's in these moments that our faith is tested the most. Faith is not just about believing when things are easy or clear, but about trusting even when we cannot see the full picture. Saint Michael is with us on this journey, helping to strengthen our faith so we can move forward with confidence, even when the future seems uncertain. In Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, it is written, "Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see." This verse is a powerful reminder that faith is not based on knowing all the answers, but trusting that God is leading us, even when we cannot see the final destination. Saint Michael stands beside us in these moments, encouraging us to trust that God's hand is at work, guiding us with each step we take. Faith is about surrendering control and allowing ourselves to be led by divine wisdom. Think of faith as a muscle that grows stronger with use. Each time we take a step forward in faith, even when the outcome is uncertain, we are exercising that muscle. With Saint Michael by our side, we are reminded that we do not walk this journey alone. He protects us from the fear that seeks to paralyze us and strengthens our resolve to keep moving forward, trusting that God will reveal the way in his perfect time. As our faith grows, so does our ability to make decisions rooted in confidence and trust in God. There will be moments along the journey when doubt seems louder than faith. This is when we must call on Saint Michael for strength. He is not only a warrior who fights on our behalf, but also a protector of our faith. When we feel weak, when our faith wavers, we can rely on his guidance and support to help us stay grounded in the promises of God. With each decision, no matter how difficult, our faith can grow deeper as we lean on the strength that comes from trusting in God's plan. Faith is not about having all the answers, but about believing that the answers will come in time. Each decision we make is an opportunity to strengthen our faith, to trust that God is leading us toward his purpose. Saint Michael, as a guide and protector, helps us to walk with courage, even when the way forward seems unclear. He reminds us that our faith is stronger than our fears, and that with God's help, we can make decisions that reflect our trust in him. In your prayer, ask Saint Michael to help strengthen your faith. When the path seems unclear, and doubt begins to arise, trust that He is with you, helping you to move forward in faith. With Saint Michael's guidance, you can make each decision with confidence, knowing that God is leading you every step of the way. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, strengthen my faith as I navigate the decisions before me. Help me to trust in God's plan, even when the path is unclear. Guide me with confidence and protect me from the doubts that seek to shake my trust. May I walk forward in faith, knowing that God is with me at every step. When making difficult decisions, our minds can easily become overwhelmed. Conflicting thoughts, emotions, and outside pressures can cloud our judgment, making it hard to discern the right path. In these moments, we must ask for mental clarity to cut through the noise and find peace in the choices we need to make. Saint Michael is here to help us clear our minds of distractions and confusion, bringing us the clarity we need to make decisions that are aligned with God's will. In Philippians chapter 4, verse 7, we are promised that the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This peace is the key to finding mental clarity. When our minds are filled with anxiety or confusion, it's nearly impossible to make sound decisions. Saint Michael helps us guard our minds, cutting through the fog of uncertainty and bringing us the peace that comes from knowing we are being guided by God. His presence brings a calm that allows us to see clearly and think wisely. Consider the times when your mind has felt cluttered with too many thoughts or emotions, making it hard to focus. These moments of mental overwhelm are common when we face important decisions. But when we invite Saint Michael into our minds, we create space for clarity to emerge. His sword, which cuts through confusion, can help remove the distractions that cloud our thinking. With his help, we can focus on what truly matters and make decisions with a clear, peaceful mind. Mental clarity also involves letting go of the what-ifs that often plague our decision-making. We can become paralyzed by trying to predict every possible outcome, but this only adds to our confusion. When we ask Saint Michael for clarity, we are asking him to help us focus on what is in front of us, rather than getting lost in future possibilities that we cannot control. His guidance helps us see the present moment clearly, so we can make decisions that are rooted in peace and trust. The clarity we seek is not just about having all the answers, but about being able to quiet the noise and focus on what God is revealing to us in this moment. Saint Michael helps protect our minds from the distractions that pull us away from God's guidance. As we make space for clarity, we can trust that God will illuminate the next step, even if we don't yet see the whole path. With a clear mind, we can make decisions that reflect our trust in God's wisdom. In your prayer, ask Saint Michael to bring clarity to your mind. When confusion and distractions arise, trust that he is with you, helping you to clear away the noise so you can hear God's voice. With his help, your mind will be at peace, and you will be able to make decisions with confidence and clarity. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, bring clarity to my mind as I face the decisions before me. Help me to quiet the noise of confusion and distractions so that I may focus on what truly matters. Guide my thoughts and bring me the peace of mind I need to make wise, faithful choices. Every decision we make comes with consequences, and sometimes these consequences are difficult to face. Whether the outcome is positive or challenging, we must trust that God is with us through it all. Accepting the consequences of our decisions requires faith, courage, and humility. It's easy to question ourselves after a decision is made, wondering if we could have chosen differently. But the truth is that God is still guiding us, even through the consequences we face. Saint Michael helps us find the strength to accept what comes and trust that God will use it for good. In the book of Jonah, we see an example of how running from a decision can lead to difficult consequences. In Jonah, chapters 1-3, Jonah initially refuses to follow God's command to go to Nineveh, choosing instead to flee. As a result, he faces a storm and is swallowed by a great fish. But even in the depths, God's grace is present. Jonah repents, accepts the consequence of his initial choice, and ultimately fulfills his mission. Like Jonah, we may face difficult consequences from our decisions, but with Saint Michael's guidance, we can trust that God is still with us, ready to bring redemption. Accepting consequences doesn't mean giving up hope. It means understanding that, While our choices have outcomes, God is always working for our good. Saint Michael helps us find the courage to face whatever comes after a decision, knowing that God can transform even the most challenging situations. Whether the consequences are expected or surprising, we can lean on Saint Michael to strengthen us and remind us that we are never alone in the aftermath of our choices. Have you ever made a decision and then second-guessed yourself when the consequences didn't turn out as you had hoped? This is a common human experience, but it's in these moments that we must turn to God and trust that He is still working. Saint Michael helps us accept what comes, not with fear or regret, but with the assurance that God's hand is still guiding our lives. The consequences of our decisions are part of the journey, and Saint Michael is there to help us navigate them with grace. Sometimes, the hardest part of decision-making is not the choice itself, but the aftermath. We may feel overwhelmed by the weight of the consequences, but Saint Michael reminds us that we have the strength to face them. By accepting the results of our decisions, we open ourselves to the possibility of growth and transformation. Saint Michael's presence gives us the courage to trust that even when the consequences are tough, God's grace is present, and He is leading us forward. As you face the consequences of your decisions, trust that Saint Michael is with you, helping you to accept what comes with courage and faith. Whether the outcome is what you expected or not, know that God is still in control, and He is using every part of your journey for His purpose. With Saint Michael by your side, you can face the consequences of your decisions with strength and peace. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, give me the courage to accept the consequences of my decisions with faith and trust in God's plan. Help me to see that, even in difficult outcomes, God's grace is at work, guiding me toward growth and transformation. Strengthen me as I face what comes, knowing that I am never alone. Gratitude is an essential part of any journey of faith. After seeking guidance and making decisions, it's important to give thanks for the clarity, strength, and wisdom that God provides. No matter how the decision turns out, the act of trusting in God and seeking His will is something to be thankful for. Saint Michael, as our protector and guide, plays a key role in helping us navigate through uncertainty, and it's important to offer our gratitude for His presence and assistance. By giving thanks, we acknowledge the ways in which God has led us and strengthened our faith. In Colossians chapter 3, verse 17, we are reminded, "And whatever you do, whether in word or deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through Him." Gratitude is not just a response to good outcomes, but a practice of recognizing God's hand in all things. Whether we received the answers we hoped for or found clarity in unexpected ways, giving thanks keeps our hearts focused on God's goodness. Saint Michael helps us see the blessings in every decision-making process, reminding us that we are guided and protected at all times. As you look back on the decisions you've faced and the guidance you've received, take a moment to express your gratitude. Even in moments of uncertainty, God's presence has been with you, and Saint Michael has stood by your side, offering protection and clarity. Gratitude shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have been given, and it opens our hearts to receive more of God's grace. When we thank God for His guidance, we acknowledge that His wisdom is far greater than our own, and that His plans are always for our good. Gratitude also helps us stay connected to the divine as we move forward. After each decision, whether big or small, giving thanks reminds us that we are not walking this journey alone. Saint Michael's guidance has helped us navigate through challenges, and his presence continues to be a source of strength and protection. By offering thanks, we recognize the ongoing relationship we have with God and His angels, trusting that we will continue to receive their guidance as we face future decisions. It's important to remember that gratitude is not just for the moments when things go smoothly, but for the entire journey. Every step we take in faith, every decision made with prayer and trust, is part of God's plan for our lives. Saint Michael has been with us every step of the way, guiding us with divine wisdom and protecting us from harm. By giving thanks, we honor the ways in which we have been supported and reaffirm our trust in God's continued guidance. As you conclude this prayer, take time to offer your gratitude for the guidance you have received. Thank Saint Michael for standing by your side, and thank God for the wisdom He has provided throughout this journey. With hearts full of gratitude we can move forward in faith, knowing that we are always protected and guided by divine love. Prayer. Saint Michael the Archangel, I give thanks for your guidance and protection throughout my journey of decision-making. Thank you for standing by my side, offering clarity and strength. I also thank God for his wisdom and for leading me on the path he has chosen. May I continue to trust in your guidance as I face future decisions, knowing that I am always supported by God's love. As you stand at the end of this prayer, take a moment to reflect on the journey you have been through. Every decision, whether big or small, is part of the path that God has laid before you. While the road ahead may still hold uncertainty, you are not alone in navigating it. Saint Michael has been with you, and he will continue to walk beside you, offering his strength, guidance, and protection. Trust that God's hand is in every detail, and know that, with Saint Michael's help, you will find the clarity you seek. When we face difficult decisions, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, but it is in these moments that our faith is strengthened the most. With each prayer, each call for guidance, you are growing closer to God and learning to trust in his plan. Saint Michael has been placed in your life as a heavenly defender, someone who can fight your battles and guide you to the truth. By seeking his help, you are embracing the divine wisdom that is available to you every step of the way. As you continue on your journey, hold on to the lessons you've learned here. Trust in God's timing, seek his will, and always remain open to his guidance, even when the answers are slow to come. Saint Michael is always ready to lend his strength and wisdom, so do not hesitate to call upon him in moments of doubt or fear. With his protection, no challenge is too great, and no decision is too overwhelming for you to handle. Finally, remember to remain grateful for the guidance you have received. Gratitude opens your heart to even more blessings, and by giving thanks, you acknowledge the ways in which God has already worked in your life. Saint Michael has been with you through this prayer, and his presence will continue to surround you as you face the decisions ahead. Trust that, with his help, the path before you will always be illuminated by God's love and grace. May you walk forward with confidence, knowing that you are guided by divine wisdom and protected by Saint Michael's powerful presence. Whatever decisions lie ahead, trust that you have the strength, clarity, and faith to make the right choice, always with the assurance that God is leading you on the path of peace and purpose. As you end this prayer, take a moment to leave your deepest intentions in the comments below. Trust that Saint Michael is already interceding on your behalf. If you found comfort or clarity in this prayer, don't forget to like and share it, so others can also receive the same peace and guidance. Subscribe for more prayers that will continue to strengthen your journey, and remember, you are never alone. Saint Michael is always with you, guiding you through every decision and protecting you from every storm.